Most workplaces consist of a diverse range of people with many differences. Coworkers are of different genders, races, religions, cultures, and socioeconomic backgrounds. All employees, supervisors, and administrators are expected to treat others with respect and provide a positive environment to work in. When you are sensitive to others in your workplace, you're able to enjoy your job more and add to the positive working environment while building more effective communication skills. Employees who say or do something that causes offense to another person may face consequences. Be certain you don't risk disciplinary action by following our district's code of conduct. If you have any questions, see your supervisor for clarification. Your goal while taking this course is to become familiar with the concepts surrounding self-awareness, self-monitoring and perception, emotions, listening skills, and receiving or giving feedback. Let's start by asking ourselves some very telling questions. Am I sensitive to others? Do I enjoy interacting with people who are different from me? Am I open-minded when people share ideas that differ from my own ideas? Do I tend to pass judgment on people? Do I think that I am better than others because I am more educated, of a certain religion, or a certain race? Self-awareness is being aware of our internal dialogue and our emotions and emotional reactions to others. Self-monitoring is the process of paying attention to your behavior and how others perceive your actions and then consciously changing those actions as you interact with others. High self-monitors are aware of communication patterns between themselves and others. They adjust their communication style according to the other person's reactions. Low self-monitors are much less mindful of their words, body language, and of other people's reactions. This makes for less effective communication that can lead to misunderstandings and misinterpretations. We must all work at becoming more self-aware and learn ways to monitor our interactions with others. If you find it difficult to self-monitor your own interactions, call on a trusted friend or family member to help you point out moments when you might be handling a situation insensitively or are being judgmental. Our goal is to become more open-minded to those who are different from ourselves. The willingness and ability to change your behavior during interactions is a powerful sign of an effective and sensitive communicator. It's human nature to have assumptions about others. It's a glitch in our perception that tends to lead us into misunderstandings with those who are different than us. Instead, let's try to override that impulse and celebrate the differences while being open to new ideas. If you would like to enjoy better communications and relationships with those in your workplace, consider applying the following practices to change your own perceptions. Be aware of your perceptions. Just admitting that you have these preconceived notions about others can actually go a long way to fixing the issue. Separate interpretations from facts. Don't assume that everything you see from a distance is fact. Say you see a coworker crying and another coworker is standing with them and they look very angry. You could assume that these two just had a fight when in reality, they may have just gotten some difficult news and are just each processing that news differently. Use perception checking. By observing others and asking direct questions, you can adjust your perception and respond appropriately in a sensitive manner. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand and manage your own emotions, as well as gauge the emotions of others and respond accordingly. A high EQ is linked to self-esteem, life satisfaction, healthy conflict management skills, and effective workplace interactions. Your emotional intelligence may be considered high if you can answer yes to the following questions. Am I open to learning about others' emotions? Do I empathize with others? Do I watch and react to others' facial expressions or their body language? Your thoughts often influence your emotions. The sooner you recognize that you can control the negative feelings you have towards someone, the sooner you can start to take actions to improve your emotions. Here are some strategies you can use to manage your emotions more effectively. Take time to explore your feelings. In the heat of an argument, walk away and take a few moments to explore why you are getting so upset. Ask yourself if you're being irrational, focusing on the negative, or letting something personal affect your current situation. Monitor your self-talk. What is that little voice in your head saying to you? Is that voice reminding you that you just don't like a particular coworker? If your inner dialogue is negative, you can guarantee your interactions will also be negative. Try thinking of a few good points about a coworker you find yourself struggling with. Maybe they are very giving. Remind yourself of something kind they did for another coworker that you both like. This will help realign your thoughts and therefore your feelings and emotions. Determine the right time to express your emotions, if at all. If your emotions or feelings are affecting your job performance, then a discussion must take place. However, if you are just upset and discussing the matter will only make things worse, you must move forward, possibly without resolution. Make sure you have the right words to express how you feel. Spend some time thinking of the words you would use to describe how you feel beyond angry, mad, or annoyed. The more ways you can express your feelings, the more likely it is that the other person will be able to accurately and clearly see your perspective. This in turn will make it easier to resolve your issue. Accept responsibility for your emotions. Do not blame others for your feelings or become defensive when attempting to address an issue. Remain open-minded and use I statements as much as possible. Be sensitive to others' emotions. We sometimes find it easier to get caught up in our own emotions and feelings that we forget about how the other person might feel. Try to be an active listener during difficult conversations in order to hear the emotions in their voice and tone. Listen more than you talk. This may sound a little silly at first because we think that what we have to say is more important and should be valued more than the other person in the conversation. Do not pass judgment based on any incomplete information. Listen until the end of the conversation. This will prevent many misunderstandings that often block our progress. Often, we find it hard to actively listen when we are receiving feedback. To check your ability to receive feedback, ask yourself some important questions. Do I tend to disagree when told I need to improve upon something? Do I point out others' faults when they attempt to offer criticism or feedback? Do I find joy in proving others wrong, even if I am truly in the wrong? Do I offer excuses for my mistakes? Do I find it difficult to admit when I am wrong? When others present us with information that challenges our self-esteem or self-image, we often feel the need to defend ourselves or become defensive. Becoming defensive will put up a roadblock to your relationship with the person offering the feedback. Defensiveness also impedes your ability to grow personally and professionally. To avoid being defensive and receive feedback appropriately, seek specifics. You may become defensive if someone were to say, "You always make mistakes." Instead of becoming defensive and saying, "No, I don't," try responding with, "I don't believe I always make mistakes. Can you give me a couple of examples that we can talk about?" This will allow you to understand specifically what you can improve upon, because we all have room for improvement. Paraphrase the speaker's ideas. Paraphrasing will give you the opportunity to gain a strong understanding of the feedback you receive and can help confirm that you and the other person are on the same page. Avoid being argumentative. Disagreeing with a speaker or providing excuses or explanations as to why you did or didn't do something, for example, ignites argumentativeness in the person delivering the feedback. Instead, even if the feedback is being delivered in a way you feel is unprofessional, listen for the parts of the conversation that are factual and take those facts away from the conversation for self-reflection and growth. Anytime you have to disagree with someone, deliver constructive feedback, or tell someone they did something incorrectly, they may become defensive because they feel uncomfortable. No one wants to feel like they let down their team or did something wrong. To make the conversation stay constructive when giving this kind of feedback, you should use descriptive rather than evaluative language. Descriptive language describes a behavior without passing judgment on the person. Evaluative language passes judgment and often labels the person, which creates defensiveness. Include positive feedback as well. Always include a positive statement along with a constructive criticism to increase the likelihood of the information being heard and well received. You are more likely to see positive change if you approach difficult conversations using these 2 tips. One greatly effective way to ensure you are sensitive to the emotions of coworkers is to be thankful for them. Always remember that without a richly diverse workplace, you and your school wouldn't be able to thrive and wouldn't be making such a big difference in the community and in the lives of so many children. Gratitude is an important factor in your ability to be happy and an effective coworker. At the end of the day, take note of 3 things you're thankful for, whether related to work, a specific person you work with, or even a personal situation. Doing this exercise will lift your mood and allow you to become more sensitive and a more effective communicator.